Peace, chiefs and deers. It's Bronzebird here with another video. Before I begin, like and subscribe. Thank you. So we need to have a serious conversation about something. I'm pretty sure those who's really thinking understand what's going on, but others are still in the dark. And I think that now in this whole entire climate about what's happening in America should really tell people exactly the noteworthy stuff you should be noting as time goes on with the society, whether it be the president in office, the Congress, the war generals, war veterans, and any public official. You know what I mean? All these different things is out here for a reason. And we could talk about agendas this, agendas that, but I want those, I do things from a surface level a lot, only so people can really understand exactly the whole entire point of what's going on in your society. And it's just been a whole bunch of talk about how the vax contains this, that, and the third. These tests, like the testing sites in the past had some type of they had some type of micro dust inside of these like Q-tips or whatever, and they put it up your nose. I'm not really sure how true that is, but nothing. And when it comes to evilness, nothing escapes me when it comes to what the powers of the elite could do. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about this new nanotechnology that they're putting in place to put inside people's bodies. And I want you to pay very close attention to the video, because this is something they always say is, oh, it's trying to help. It's trying to help society, which is a lot of these different things, especially if y'all paying attention to what's going on with Karina. You understand? The whole entire thing that's happened with the Karina cases and all this other stuff. They always say the same thing. Oh, we're trying to help you. It's for your safety and this, that, and the third. Those who pay attention knows that there's an agenda behind this, right? So I want you guys to be more or less aware of the stuff that they're using. Besides the Karina thing, just the understanding about what they're using in the future and why they always try to say, oh, no, it's trying to help. I'm going to explain in a little while, but I want you guys to start getting this idea into your head. A lot of this shit, for lack of a better term, is not to help. Okay, it's not to help at all. So I want people to understand that. I'm going to share my screen right here. Fair use.
Hacking humans with nanotechnology may sound like a concept from a futuristic science novel or movie, but the truth is, it's not that far off, and it could be the next big cyber threat. How so? Keep watching and find out. Nanotech, a recap. Nanotechnology is any technological endeavor that deals with anything with a dimension of fewer than 100 nanometers. While the concept was first brought to light in the late 1950s, it wasn't until the late 1980s that technology advanced enough to actually allow scientists.
And those who know the knowledge on this, is 1950s conducted a lot of experiments. You understand? A lot of people understand that. A lot of people who do research and stuff like that, 1950s was like the golden era for a lot of these experiments and a lot of these socialization experiments to take place, so that these scientists could dig deeper and have an understanding on the human reaction and how the human body reacts to certain things. You understand? So those who know, you could find plenty of videos on YouTube that talks more about this in depth, but just to get the idea, the frontal part about the nanotechnology, this isn't something that they just put out there for people to see. The thing about it is, when they put these videos out, it's usually like they put it out for shock value. How is the Republic going to receive it? They know they're going to get negative comments in the YouTube section, right? And that they're going to say, oh my God, they're hacking us, transhumanism and this, that, and the third. But if you understand how it works in the society, they don't give a damn, because they already worked on this for decades. So now when they put out this video, it's just a warning for those to understand this is the new wave. You understand? You're going to jump on this. They're forcing you with this. They're not telling you it. They're forcing you with this. You understand? And he's going to get to a part where I know he's using it as a way to say the vulnerable populations as a testing tool, the testing animals, before they get to the rest of the population of the world.
to work in such a small field. Nanotechnology has several applications, including food, technology, fuels, batteries, environmental causes, chemical sensors, and even sporting goods. The medical field is one of the most exciting for nanotechnology at the moment, though most developments are still in the experimental phase. With these developments comes the ever-present technological risk of hacking. Nanotech in humans. Building new muscle with carbon nanotubes is one such possibility. Scientists at IBM are also working on using nanotechnology to analyze.
And pay attention to that company he just named, IBM, okay? Pay attention to that.
DNA in just minutes instead of weeks to treat cancer patients with a customized treatment plan. We're also seeing the use of nanotech in chemotherapy or vaccines to target specific types of
vaccines.
Cells in the body, where experimental nanosponges are being tested to absorb toxins in the body. Nanotech is also being explored as an early diagnostic tool to detect cancers and infectious diseases long before our current technology is able.
Now, think about this, people. Think about this for a second. This video came out in 2019, okay? I want people to really pay attention to what he said about how they can detect all these diseases before they arise and all these different things. Now, the human body is smart, right? We have an understanding that there's many different ways that you can mess up your body or damage your body, or there might be certain ailments because it might be genetic, quote unquote. But at the same time, why would you need technology to tell you whether you're about to get sick or not, and to tell you all these diseases or problems arising in your body by cells, right? Those who know me knows I go the herbalist route. I don't rely on technology to tell me whether I'm healthy or not, and this, that, and the third. It's just not something I like to do. But think about this for a second. We're in a quote unquote pandemic, okay? This video is from 2019. You don't think that they would develop some type of technology to put inside of your body in order to detect whether you have corona or not? Think about that for a second. That this gentleman is sitting up there talking about all these diseases, and again, this is what I try to tell people. A lot of these technological advances is in order to monitor you. This is not about helping you. The reason he's going to use cancer patients and chemotherapy and this, that, and the third is because they're the most vulnerable. They're the most vulnerable. So of course, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? Let's try this out on the sick first before we supply it to the regular everyday folks walking around in the metropolitans, in the suburbs, or just in the world in general. You understand? This is exactly why they always go for the sick first before they go to the basic populations. Why is that? Because they know that they're going to get more pushback from the everyday folks out there that's paying attention before they get pushback from those who's sick and in need of those new medicines.
Some ideas include a tiny device that gets injected into the body as a sensor or a medical delivery device. This all sounds positive, but there's a downside too. Is it secure? Tiny nano devices are typically controlled by a program on a traditional electronic device like a computer, smartphone, or server, meaning they could be very hackable. Some digital security experts posit that a single nanoparticle in the body with its own processor could be hacked. But they also say that if someone had more than one particle in the body, which many treatments would require, a hacker could theoretically turn them into a network in the body, using the body's own systems to communicate and do their bidding. One of the most obvious and
this is the thing. He's talking about hacking, right? And I need y'all to pay attention to this. He's talking about hacking. A random person can go ahead and hack your body, hack the systems in your body and all these different things to have the cells attack itself and blah, 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 blah. But as complex as the food industry is, as the Drug and Food Administration is, right? When they put these things in our food, when they put these things in our drinks, aren't they already attacking the cells themselves and making it worse for us because of the food choices we have, right? What about these pills when people have to continually keep taking the pills over and over and over again and they're not getting the results that actually get better? They're just taking drugs in order to get drugged up and rely on the doctors that's telling them to take that drug. So what is the difference with that versus the nanotechnology they're talking about is going to hack a person's system. Of course, they're going to talk about hacking, but this is the thing that, and he's also going to talk about this later. This goes beyond the idea of nanotechnology when it comes to the vulnerable populations, about those who sick. This is talking about another device to try to track you, understand you, and actually live within you more than anything. Nanotechnology for the sick, that's their first testing site. Then after that, it's going to be about everything else. That's why people are so goddamn dumb these days. They believe that, and it's also something I never really talked about, but I should bring up. When it comes to pets, specifically dogs, a lot of people have not been understanding. You put those tracking devices in them dogs, that's just another test. That's a beta testing thing. You're trans, it's trans petism, trans animalism, whatever you want to call it. Putting a tracking device in your dog, absolutely inhumane, right? And the fact of the matter is, you just conducted a whole entire animal testing and you didn't know it. And you're passing that. It's going to pass from animals to humans. This is what you can expect in the future. And it's happening at least right now, okay? So you don't have to worry about no hacking and this, that, and third. The whole entire sentiment I'm trying to put out here is, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, technology like this is a way to control you.
Dangerous applications for biomedical hacking is ransomware. If a hacker took over your inner nanotechnology devices, they could demand a ransom with fatal consequences. If you're unable or unwilling to pay, they could easily turn your body against you, and at the very least, make you suffer or get sick, if not kill you. It may also be possible for unsavory characters to use nanotechnology itself against their enemies, not only in hacking attacks such as inhalable particulate powders to treat lungs. Some worry this technology could be an easily weaponized delivery method for bioterrorism efforts beyond the hacking dangers. Getting infected with something could be as simple as breathing the air, taking a shower, or getting a regular vaccination from your doctor. Mitigating the risks. The most powerful thing that needs to happen to lessen the risk of hacking with nanotechnology is legislation to regulate the types and strength of security required on nanomedical devices, and even the function of devices that will be allowed. Medical device manufacturers who wish to ensure that their devices are not likely to get hacked should do proper penetration testing. Though this area is still in its infancy, we can use the term nanomedical technology, nanomedical hacking, and others that truly describe what it is until something else comes along. The term biohacking sounds like the perfect term to describe hacking medical technology, but it actually refers to do-it-yourself biology. This is a self-improvement technique that uses diet, exercise, and mental techniques to hack the body to improve mood, health, and overall life satisfaction. Neobiology may suffice, as it generally refers to any new advance in biological technology. Nanotechnology and medical device hacking would certainly fall under this umbrella, but the umbrella is very large. Lastly, it could also fall under the Internet of Things label, but this is a broad term, so it doesn't exactly define it. Risk realism. Has there been a true case of medical device hacking? The answer at this point is not clear, but there have certainly been crippling hacks of medical centers. At this point, the risk seems to be mostly theoretical, though it's just a matter of time before black hat hackers pick up on what white hat hackers have been researching and trying to prevent. Some experts believe it's only a matter of time before something fatal happens involving the hacking of a medical device, and that
would be the point if you don't obey the orders of society once you decide to have the nanotechnology inside of you. It could be way of these jabs, the syringe, when the unsyringed finally concedes into the society and decides to get syringed by the government's fictional orders. Okay, and the thing about it is, they could use the whole entire nanotechnology, and you don't even know it. Okay, and the thing about it is, it's one of those type of things that's better left unsaid. Okay, and this is why I wanted to make a video on it, because the thing about it, in our society, they're not going to tell you everything. They're not going to tell you all these different risks and all this other stuff. They concede you as dumb, right? Yo, I mean, I'm telling you.
Then will medical providers and legislators take this issue seriously. As mentioned before, penetration testing is one of the best ways to find vulnerabilities in medical devices and ensure.
And why do you think, and I'm sorry to burst a bubble for those that might have gotten syringed, why do you think that a lot of what the government does, they're offering this shit for free? Okay, if we're talking about a so-called pandemic, okay, that's happening in America and happening around the world, you don't think for a second that when they talk about penetration, that it's easier to go ahead and use a goddamn syringe in order to sit up there and use these type of technologies on you? I mean, look, I'm not going to be a so-called conspiracy theorist and this, that, and the third, but wasn't it even being told that even when you got these type of syringes, right, that people were actually finding that QR codes were being applied to them when they put their phone against their arm? I mean, honestly, there's a lot, and the arm was magnetic to metal, to certain metals and stuff like that. Getting back to the point about the penetration testing, it's easier to do that because it's in the form of a liquid. So they could put dustings of nanotech and all these different things inside of your body. You wouldn't even know the next time you go to a doctor, or when you go out to these random testing sites, or go to your nearest clinic to get syringed. And they sit up there and they tell you, oh, you know, this, that, and the third company and blah, 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 blah. It could be a money scheme. It could be one of these like type of things that they're doing out here to have more control on you, to make you not even an asset for them in this society. You understand? That's the whole thing people have to get. And I'm not necessarily saying that the current condition of people going out there and getting syringe means that, but you can never know, especially if it's another worse so-called pandemic that happens. Okay, we don't know for sure. We just know that right now, when it comes to the syringe versus unsyringe, of course, it's a divide and conquer strategy. And as well, getting into this whole entire idea about the field of medicine, they're never going to stop until they get close to you as much as possible, which means getting inside you to also, AKA, download you, okay? An asset and crucial asset to this society, you understand?
Sure that your products are as secure as possible. Alpine Security offers a full range of penetration testing, including in the medical field. If you'd like to be...
And I need you to understand, Alpine Security, that's how funny it is. Penetration testing, all right? Why do you think they're always trying to use syringes in order for y'all to get these shots? You understand? They always do this. They didn't do it with they didn't do it with just the so-called pandemic. They also did it with the flu shots. They also did it with meningitis and all these different things, all these random polio and all these random, you know, shots they wanted to say is required before you enter a specific facility and all these different things, because it was all a testing ground. So now that we transform into the 2020s before 2030, you can expect a lot of these experiments to come out of infancy stages and now going full blown, okay, just try this out and let's see how you like it. Or we can protect you from Karina if you just take this shot right here. And the fact of the matter is, besides taking that shot, that this also has new data systems that can tell you whether you're going to contract it again or not. And the thing about it is, they'll tell you, oh, you know, just download this app and it'll tell you, it'll help you with your health and help you track down and all these different things. This is the whole entire point about technology, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I do these videos, because this is exactly the nonsense that they put out in this society, okay? And the thing about it is, this is not something they're just developing. Yeah, they'll tell you, oh, yeah, well, you know, it's in its infancy stages and this, that, and the third. This has been happening for decades. Y'all now just picking up on this. And soon it's going to be out to the public. Why do you, like I said before, the so-called pandemic is a way to minister and basically initiate these type of penetration testings so that they can put these dustings of particles that are IE cameras in your body. Let's really be real about this conversation, y'all. For real.
On this cutting edge field of security and technology, inquire within on our site. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
So enough of that. Well, I have no more words on it. Otherwise, now make sure that you stay tuned for more of my videos, like and subscribe. Peace.